You're listening to Let's Grow Together podcast.
Forever I know we'll make it, we grow together. Hey, welcome to a new episode of Let's Grow Together podcast. My name is James Gilmore.
And Lynette Gilmore.
And this is our 13th episode
Yeah.
of Let's Grow Together podcast. We'd like to thank all of you who has been supporting all of these episodes when we post it on Facebook and Instagram and all the other social media platforms.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate all your support and all, those who comment and, really, put in your input, your ideas for us. We appreciate that. Anything you want to say, Lynette?
Yeah, we really do appreciate all the support and love and those who listen to us all the time on our podcast. You leave us comments in our inbox and we really, really appreciate it. And it's very, very inspiring too.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Yeah, and also the support of our individual businesses. A lot of people have been supporting Lynette with her herbal business, as far as buying and supporting her. She has been selling a lot lately.
Yeah.
And she's just starting, so it's a good start. Her business is really blooming and blossoming. Nah, man.
Yeah.
So we thank y'all for that. This is going to be an interesting topic tonight, and it's very informative. We're going to talk about why we started this podcast and why, in general, why it's interesting to start a podcast. We kind of wanted a platform where we can express our ideas freely to our people, especially the black community, with different topics that we deal with.
Yeah.
And also, other ethnicities as well. We like to encourage everybody with what we are talking about, especially the people that we come in contact with every day. Some of them say that it really helped them out and it's really inspiring what they have heard, and it inspires them to move on with their life, with the opportunities that they have. So we're really grateful and we are very excited when we hear those things.
Yeah, we are very, very excited. Podcasting, we started it in April.
Yeah.
And, I think I initially came up with the thought, hey, let's do a podcast. And initially my husband was like, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I wasn't really familiar with the podcast world. And she showed me this app called Anchor, and we've been using it ever since. And it's a really good platform. You have sponsors that you can put up there to really push your podcast, so that's really good. And we've been using it ever since we started in April, and we haven't had no problems with it since.
Right.
So we're gonna keep going with it until otherwise. We might even could possibly start our own network of podcasts or whatever.
Podcasting platform.
Yeah, podcast platform.
Yeah, podcasting has really, I'll say, really been a blessing to us.
Yeah.
The reason why we like it, like my husband just mentioned, is because it's a platform that gives us the freedom to speak and deliver our thoughts to you guys, and a lot of people who know us may see us, and a lot of you don't really know us that well.
Yeah.
Or you think that we're very quiet and very reserved,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know our thoughts.
Yeah.
So I really felt like podcasting would be a way to express the thoughts that we have, especially with things that's going on in the world, in our society, or in our family or in our community. And the thing that really made me want to do this
Mm-hmm.
is the fact that we're considered young to a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people look at age and they think they more knowledgeable than you are because of your age difference. And it's sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes young people, you can learn from the young, and the old can learn, from the young, and vice versa. So you know, it goes both ways sometimes. A lot of old people think, just because they're older than you, that they're wiser than you, and that's not always the case.
Right.
I mean, of course, don't get me wrong. They've lived longer, they have experienced more things, but this is a new time,
Right.
and we might know some more knowledge that they don't know. So.
Exactly. And this platform, podcasting, have just given us I'll say a voice.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because when you're around a lot of older people, you don't really have that opportunity to voice your opinion or really, say what you're thinking, because, they get so, I guess, offended, or they don't really, trust your words because they've lived longer and they're older and they got this, and you don't have this, and it really just it kind of like dampens your spirit in ways.
Yeah. And as Lynette was talking, I was thinking, I guess the older you get, the more you stuck in a traditional way. Older people, once they get older, they get kind of, into the way they've been living, and they, stick with they traditionally, live with what, doctrines they live with every day. And, younger people, they have fresh new ways of living, and sometimes it kind of clashes with each other. And so they think their way is the only way.
Right.
And, it clashes. And another reason why we started this, because, at other different situations and settings, we felt like we didn't have a lot of voice. Even at our workplace, we don't have a lot of voice.
Yep.
Or in other areas, other places, we felt like we didn't have a lot of voice. So we started this podcast so we can have our own voice and express our feelings to the world,
right,
and to people locally, that don't really talk to us or hear from us on an everyday basis. So.
Right. And that's why, I always said that when people leave us comments and, say things in our inboxes, and they say to us, you're young, but what you say, people want to say, and it's very inspiring to me. Keep up the good work.
And that reminds me of Bernie Mac. He always say, I say what y'all don't want to say.
Uh-huh.
That reminds me of that. And so, that's like, you in a meeting at work, you really want to say what's on your mind, but you can't say it because you feel like you're going to get fired or anything.
Right.
And so that's a good thing about podcasts. You can say whatever you feel, and you're not going to get penalized or looked upon because it's your own platform.
Right.
So
it's your own platform where you're being creative, and you're bringing your thoughts to life.
Yeah.
And
good thing about podcasts, it's like having your own radio station. And the thing about podcasts, it really moves with technology, because you can record on your phone, you can record on the mic. We use condenser mics, but sometimes we just record straight from the computer, and it sounds as good as using the mic. So
yeah,
it's a lot of ways you can do podcasting.
And another thing, as we grew, because we've been doing this since April 15 or 14.
Like that, yeah.
This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place. You can use it on your phone or your computer. The app has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast straight from your phone. You will then be allowed to have your podcast on every platform there is: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. Make sure you download the app today. Yeah. And it's been like, how long has it been? 7 months?
This is December, so it's 8 months.
Yeah, 8
we
months.
Can't count it.
I was
Yeah,
close.
8 months,
I was
yeah.
close,
8 months. Yeah.
Well, as we have done this for 8 months, we have kind of developed and learned about podcasting more.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest thing about podcasting is that whoever hears what you're talking about, like, for instance, we talk about our businesses.
Mm-hmm.
James talks about his music,
Mm-hmm.
and I talk about Herbs for Health.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody can find this and listen to it, and then go look up our businesses too.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it can really reach the world.
Yeah, and also a way to express your passion, what you love, and what you want the world to know.
Oh yeah, that's a
about
good one.
certain things. Like Lynette, she's into the herbal, and she really wants to help people, especially our people, blacks, really be in good health. Like the Bible say, God wants you to be in good health, even as your soul. So you have to,
prosper,
as your soul prosper, be in good health. And so she's really, passionate about that thing, about herbal solutions to your, everyday problems, everyday ailments, sicknesses and stuff. Because the Bible even talks about, using the herbs for medicine, herbs for meat. And so she's really passionate about that. So
Yeah, and another thing about that, with having that herbal business, and me being able to talk about it on a podcast on this platform.
and you have yours too, by the way, your own.
Yeah,
So
I do. If you guys are interested, I do have a Herbs for Health podcast, and it's basically talking about all about health.
Yep.
And so it's very interesting. I have some very interesting topics up there, so you guys can check it out. And you can find me on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, things like that. If you want to, check out my podcast too.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, with podcasting and talking about herbs, or just talking about health in general, you really get to go into detail about certain things and certain things that's happening when it comes to health and health insurance and the food. You really get to you really get to put your thoughts out there, because if I were to go up to someone and we have a conversation and I start talking about health, of course there's gonna be a lot of rebuttals and a lot of disagreeing and going back and forth and debating.
Yeah.
But on the podcast, I can simply talk about it, give you facts about it, and it opens up the opportunity for a person to actually listen.
Yeah.
and get understanding. So that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and then you can do it as often as you like, anytime you want, and you record and you can put it up whenever you want to. If you don't like what you put out, you can erase it. So it's really flexible. Podcasts. Most podcasts that people do is not live, and so it's recorded. So you can do it whenever you want to, at any time. So.
Yeah, and I don't know. I also find podcasting quite relaxing.
Yeah.
I guess it's just me, but
therapeutic.
Yeah, very therapeutic. Like you really get to express yourself.
Yeah.
And then you find people that's basically on the same page or the same wave of thinking as you. And that's the beauty of it, I think.
Yeah. It's kind of an escape from, especially I think young people need to get more into listening to podcasts.
Oh,
because they get so saturated with video games, music videos, YouTube, and there's a lot of positive, views on these channels. And podcast is good, so they can listen to positivity. They might be interested in a certain area, and that can really captivate those things that's in their minds. And so, I encourage a lot of parents out there, tell them to put that controller down or whatever and listen to something positive. Listen to something, ask them what they're interested in. And it's a podcast for a whole lot of different subjects, a lot of different topics that they might be interested in. And they even that, they have podcasts about video games.
Oh, yeah, they
I know
do.
somebody that does, podcasts about video games. Someone who we are related to.
Yeah,
so.
And I forget I always forget the name of the podcast.
Yeah.
But when I think about it again, we're gonna mention it.
Yeah,
for sure.
You might want to learn some codes, some secrets.
Yeah.
I'm not really into video games like I used to, but yeah.
Yeah, and what you just mentioned, that is so true. I find that podcasting is it's a very positive environment. Most of the podcasts that I've seen have been very, very positive and uplifting. It's not like, I don't know, I kind of want to say podcasting is kind of
not saying all of them is good, but most of them it's good. You just gotta, if you have your kids listen to it, make sure you watch what they're listening to.
Yeah.
Yes, I know some podcasts they go on left field. So
I would just say that. Well, what I was saying was, I feel like podcasting is very separate from radio.
Yeah.
Because on radio you hear like news and bad stuff that could be happening and all that stuff too, and just basically music.
Yeah.
But with podcasting, I find it to be a very positive environment.
Yeah, it'll help you channel into it, the positivity instead of all the negative stuff you hear, on the news. And you just, channel into what you're passionate about. And you go to that podcast and you listen to it every day, when you can. So
yeah,
you listen to it in your car.
Yeah, because it's a way to grow, for sure. Like my husband said, it's so many podcasts out there. You can learn just about anything.
Yeah. It's like it's like YouTube. It's getting to that point. It's like YouTube, where you can just search anything and it comes up. So
yeah. And like you said, a lot of you feel that a lot of younger children should listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
I feel that they should do the podcast too.
Oh yeah, they could definitely. It's never too young to start, your own station, and also it's it's some benefits to it. It's profitable.
Yeah.
And it can help you out. If you really want to, wake up and do what you love. It's a good. It's beneficial to your life. It could be beneficial to your life. So we encourage you, if you're interested in expressing your passions and you want to discuss it with people, it's a good platform.
Yeah. And like my husband mentioned before, it's very therapeutic. So you can start a podcast to talk about things that are on your mind. Trust me, it will definitely help you out.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all we wanted to say on this episode. It's kind of a shorter one, but it's straight to the point. We encourage you to get more into podcasting because it's very good if you really want, like I said, if you want to discuss, things that's on your mind that it may help somebody else. It might encourage somebody else, whether it be religion or anything, health, wealth, how to get finances. So, yep, that's why we started platforms, and we're encouraging you. If you have your passion and you want to express it, that you should have a podcast as well. So, this has been our Let's Grow Together podcast. Why we started our podcast and why you should start one. My name is James Gilmore and my wife
Lynette Gilmore.
All right, peace.
All right, you guys. You're listening to Let's Grow Together podcast.
For